Long ago, in a land far away, there lived a woman named Hannah. Hannah was sad because she couldn't have any children. One day she prayed to God with all her heart. "Please, God," she cried, "give me a son, and I promise I will give him back to you. He will be your special servant." God heard Hannah's prayer. He gave her a baby boy. She named him Samson. Samson was a special gift from God. An angel appeared to Hannah and told her, "Your son will be very strong. He will save the Israelites from the Philistines." The angel said that Samson had to make a special promise to God called a Nazirite vow. He couldn't cut his hair or drink wine. This would make him extra strong because the strength came from God. Samson grew up and God blessed him with incredible strength. Samson was a wild and impulsive young man. He often let his desires guide him, which led him into trouble. One day Samson fell in love with a Philistine woman. This worried his parents because the Philistines were enemies of the Israelites. But Samson was determined to marry her. Samson's life was a mixture of God's blessing and his own choices. He was a hero to his people, but he also made mistakes. His story reminds us that God can use anyone, even flawed people like Samson, to do extraordinary things. We just need to trust in him and follow his plan for our lives. Samson's marriage to the Philistine woman led to a series of events that revealed his incredible strength. During the wedding feast, Samson challenged his 30 Philistine groomsmen with a riddle. Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet, he declared. If they couldn't solve it, they owed him 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. The groomsmen were baffled by the riddle. They threatened Samson's wife, saying, "Entice your husband to tell you the answer, or we will burn you and your father's house down." Unable to resist their threats, she persuaded Samson to reveal the answer. "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Furious that his riddle had been solved unfairly, Samson stormed off to Ashkelon and killed 30 Philistines. Taking their clothes to fulfill the wager, his anger burned, and he returned to his father's house, leaving his wife behind. This act marked the beginning of Samson's violent confrontations with the Philistines, fueled by both his divine strength and his personal vendettas. The Philistines, seeking revenge for Samson's actions, burned his wife and her father to death. This act of cruelty further fueled Samson's rage, and he vowed to avenge their deaths. "I will not stop until I have taken revenge on you," he declared. And so the cycle of violence continued, with each act of revenge begetting another. The Philistines, enraged by Samson's actions, gathered an army and marched into Judah. They were determined to capture Samson and punish him for his deeds. They camped in Lehi, a place known for its vineyards and fig trees. Samson, filled with the power of God, went out to face them. The Philistines saw Samson and charged at him, confident in their numbers. They did not know the strength that flowed through Samson, a gift from God. As the Philistines approached, Samson grabbed the jawbone of a donkey, a simple and unlikely weapon. With a mighty roar, Samson attacked the Philistines with the jawbone. He struck them down left and right, his strength leaving them no chance. The Philistines were terrified. They had never seen such power in a single man. By the time Samson was finished, he had slain 1,000 Philistines. After the battle, Samson was thirsty. He cried out to God, "I am parched with thirst. Don't let me die in the hands of these Philistines." God heard Samson's prayer and provided water from a hollow place in Lehi, which became known as En-Hakkore, the spring of the caller. Samson's victory at Lehi became a legend, a testament to the power of God working through even the most unlikely instruments. Samson, despite his great strength, had a weakness. He was easily swayed by beautiful women. He fell in love with a woman named Delilah, who lived in the valley of Sorek. The Philistine rulers, aware of Samson's infatuation, saw an opportunity to exploit his weakness. They approached Delilah and offered her a bribe. "Find out the secret of his great strength," they urged her, "and we will each give you 1,100 pieces of silver." Delilah, tempted by the Philistines' offer, agreed to their plan. She pretended to love Samson, all the while plotting to betray him. She showered him with affection, hoping he would reveal the source of his extraordinary power. "Tell me," she pleaded, "what is the secret of your strength? How can someone tie you up and subdue you?" Time and time again, Samson evaded her questions, offering false clues. He told her that if he were tied with fresh bowstrings, his strength would leave him. Another time he claimed that weaving his hair into a loom would render him powerless. Each time Delilah would tie him up as instructed and call for the Philistines, only to find that Samson remained as strong as ever. He broke free effortlessly, his love for Delilah blinding him to her true intentions. Finally, weary of Delilah's constant nagging and believing her love for him was genuine, Samson revealed the truth. "My hair has never been cut," he confessed, "because I have been a Nazirite dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me and I would become as weak as any other man." Blinded by his love for Delilah, Samson had given up the source of his strength. His heart, filled with love for the wrong woman, had betrayed him. His story serves as a reminder that even the strongest among us can be brought down by misplaced trust and the allure of temptation.